I was not looking for trouble when I opened Nathan Cole's desk. I was looking for a charger. That is what I told myself as I stood in his office, staring at the bottom drawer that he always kept locked. I had never touched it before. But that day, the key was still inside the lock. I told myself it meant nothing. I pulled the drawer open. Inside, everything was neat. Too neat. Files stacked in clean lines. Silver pen placed straight across the top. And under the files, thick sealed envelope with a law firm's name printed in bold letters. My stomach tightened. Why would you hide this? I whispered to myself. I picked it up. My hands were already shaking. I told myself it was probably about the merger, or taxes, or something boring and cold and corporate. I broke the seal. The first word I saw was my name. Evelyn Hart. The second word was worse. Petitioner. I stopped breathing. I flipped the page. Divorce filed 3 weeks ago. My vision blurred, blinked hard. I read the date again. 3 weeks. 3 weeks of dinners together. 3 weeks of shared beds. 3 weeks of him kissing my forehead and calling me wife. My name was already typed in the signature space. A digital draft prepared. Clean. Ready. Like, I was just waiting to sign away my life. My chest felt hollow. I must be reading this wrong, I whispered. I checked the filing cord. The case number. It's the lawyer's name. It was real. It was careful. It was planned. I heard the front door downstairs. Nathan. I breathed. I shoved the papers back into the envelope, but did not seal it. I slid it exactly where I found it. My hands moved slowly like I was underwater. I closed the drawer. I locked it. I stepped away, just as he walked in. Evelyn, he called. You home? Yes, I answered. My voice sounded normal. I did not know how. He walked into the office doorway and smiled at me. Perfect suit, perfect hair, perfect husband. There you are, he said softly. I've been looking for you. I forced a small smile. Long day. Brutal, he said with a sigh. But it's worth it. It's for us. The words felt like knives. He walked closer and wrapped his arms around me. I felt his warmth, his heartbeat. The same man who had filed to end our marriage without telling me. He kissed my forehead. I would never hurt you, he whispered. My body went still. Never hurt me. The papers burned in my mind. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the envelope. At his face, I wanted to ask why. Instead, I smiled. I know, I said. The lie tasted like blood. That night, we had dinner together. He talked about the upcoming merger, about investors, about how the press loved him. They trust me. He said proudly, I built that trust. I nodded and moved food around my plate after dinner, said he needed fresh air, and stepped onto the balcony with his phone. I followed quietly. I did not mean to listen, but the sliding door did not close all the way. I heard his voice low. Careful. Yes. He said, it's already filed. My heart slammed against my ribs. She doesn't know, he continued. And she can't know until the merger closes. I gripped the doorframe. It would ruin everything, he said. Public image. Matters right now. After the merger, I'll handle it cleanly. There was a pause. I could not hear the other voice. No, he said sharply. She won't fight. She trusts me. Silence, then softer, colder words. She was useful, that's all. My breath caught in my throat. Useful, not wife, not partner, useful. I stepped back before he could see me. I went upstairs and sat on the edge of the bed. My hands were cold. My mind was louder than it had ever been. He trusted that I would not fight. He trusted that I would beg. He trusted that I would cry and break and sign whatever he put in front of me. The bedroom door opened. He walked in with that same calm face. You okay? He asked gently. Yes, I said. You seem quiet. Just tired. He nodded and started changing his shirt like nothing in the world was wrong. I watched him. 3 weeks. 3 weeks of lies. I felt something inside me shift. Not break. Shift. I would not scream. I would not cry in front of him. I would not ask why. If he wanted to end this marriage, he should have told me. If he wanted war, he should have expected a response. My phone buzzed. It was Lydia Hart, my younger. "Sister, are you okay?" she texted. I don't know why, but I feel like something's wrong. I stared at her message for a long time. I typed back, "I'm fine." Another lie. Nathan lay down beside me and pulled me close. "I love you," said into my hair. I closed my eyes. I heard his balcony voice again. She was useful. That was the moment I made my decision. I would not be useful anymore. I waited until his breathing turned deep and slow. Then I slipped out of bed. I walked quietly to his office. I unlocked the drawer again. I took out the envelope. This time, I did not shake. I took out my phone. I opened the camera, and I quietly took a photo of the divorce. Drafton started planning my exit. CHP2I woke up to my phone exploding with notifications. My screen was filled with hearts, comments, tags. I opened social media. There it was. A photo of me and Nathan Cole at last year's beach trip. I was laughing. He was holding me close. The caption read, "Happy anniversary to the only woman I will ever love. Evelyn Hart, you are my forever." My chest tightened. Forever? The post already had thousands of likes. Power couple goals. True love still exists. CEO with a heart. I stared at the screen. 3 weeks ago, he filed for divorce. Today he called me forever. I walked downstairs. Nathan was in the kitchen smiling at his phone. "You saw it?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "I wanted the world to know how lucky I am," he said softly. "People forget CEOs are human." Human. I forced a smile. "It's beautiful." Stepped closer and brushed my hair back. "You deserve to be celebrated." I nodded. My phone buzzed again. It was Lydia Hart. "Is this real?" She texted, "He looks obsessed with you." I typed back, "Of course." Another lie. That night, we attended a charity gala. Cameras flashed the second we stepped out of the car. "Nathan, over here." "Mr. Cole, one photo with your wife." Pulled me closer. "Smile," he whispered. I smiled. He squeezed my hand and leaned toward my ear. "You're my everything." The words sounded perfect. The crowd loved it. Relationship goals. Someone shouted. I felt like I was standing inside a lie that everyone else believed, inside the ballroom. People kept coming to us. "You two are inspiring," a donor told him. "Strong marriages build strong companies," another investor said. Nathan laughed modestly. I couldn't do any of this without Evelyn. I looked at him. He looked sincere. I wondered how many times he had practiced that face later. While he was speaking on stage about leadership and loyalty, I stood near the back, holding his phone. He had handed it to me before going up. "This for me, babe," he had said. "I trust you." Trust. His screen lit up in my hand. A message preview flashed across it. "Graham Pierce." I froze. The message was not locked. My fingers moved before I could stop them. I opened it. "Graham. The divorce filing date lines up perfectly with the stock shift. Once the merger closes, she won't have leverage." My stomach dropped. Another message came in. "Graham, just make sure she doesn't suspect anything before the final transfer." Nathan's reply was already there. "Nathan, she doesn't. She still believes in me." I felt heat rush to my face. "Read the words again. Stock shift, final transfer. She still believes in me." My hands trembled. On stage, Nathan said into the microphone, "Integrity is everything." The crowd clapped. I stared at the screen. This was not about love. This was strategy. The divorce was timed with the merger. He was not just leaving me, he was using me. I locked the phone and held it steady as he came down from the stage. "Did I do okay?" he asked with a grin. "You were perfect," I said. He kissed my cheek. "As long as you're proud of me." "Proud I am," I replied. The lie came easier this time. When we got home, Lydia called me. "I saw the speech," she said. "Evelyn, he worships you. You're lucky." I closed my eyes. Am I? What does that mean? She asked quickly. You sound strange. I'm just tired. Talk to him if something's wrong, she urged. Don't let small doubts grow. Small doubts, if only she knew. Good night, Lydia, I said softly. After I hung up, stood alone in my dressing room. Social media was still flooding with praise. Perfect couple, Queen Evelyn. If they ever break up, I'll stop believing. In love? I almost laughed. If I spoke now, I would look insane. Who would believe me? He had the public, the board. The investors? I had screenshots. That was all. I walked into my home office and opened my laptop. I logged into my personal investment account. If he planned to shift power after the merger, I would move first. I began transferring my personal shares into a protected trust under my maiden name. Slowly, quietly. Every click felt like breathing again from the bedroom. I heard Nathan's voice on another call. Everything's on schedule, he said. Public image is stronger than ever. He was right. He looked untouchable, and that made him dangerous. I refreshed my account page to confirm the transfer. An error message appeared. Transfer. RESTRICTED. I frowned and checked the share breakdown. Again, the numbers were different. Lower. I stared at the screen. My ownership percentage had dropped. I had not sold anything yet. I whispered, "What did you do?" I opened the detailed report. New shares issued, dilution adjustment, without my consent. My heart pounded as I realized the truth. I was already losing control of my own shares. I did not confront Nathan Cole about the diluted shares. I booked a meeting with Victor Lang instead. When I walked into his office, I smiled like nothing was wrong. "Evelyn," Victor said, standing to shake my hand. "What can I do for you?" "I was reviewing old documents," I said lightly. "I realized I don't have a copy of the original shareholder agreement I signed years ago." He studied me. "That's unusual timing. I like being organized," I replied. "Is that a crime?" He gave a small smile. "Of course not." Kept my hands steady on my lap. "Can I see the full contract?" I asked. "Every clause." He paused. "Is Nathan aware of this request?" I met his eyes. "Do I need permission to review something with my name on it?" Silence stretched. Then he nodded. "No, you don't." He stood and walked to a locked cabinet. I watched carefully as he pulled out a thick black folder. He placed it in front of me. "This is the original," said. I opened it slowly. The pages smelled old, heavy paper, formal language. I flipped past the standard clauses. Equity distribution, voting rights, merger protections. Then I saw it. Confidential addendum. Bloodline control provision. My pulse jumped. I read it twice to make sure. Understood. If a spouse's actions caused reputational harm to the company through betrayal, fraud, or concealed legal action, the Hart bloodline retained emergency controlling authority, I whispered. "You never mentioned this." Victor folded his hands. "It was drafted at your grandmother's request." "My grandmother?" I asked. "Yes," he said calmly. "Margaret Hart insisted on it before approving the early expansion funding." My mind raced. "So if betrayal harms the company's reputation," I said slowly, "control can shift?" "Yes," he replied. "Temporarily or permanently, depending on severity?" "And divorce filed in secret during a merger?" I asked. He did not answer directly. "I advise caution," he said instead. I closed the folder carefully. "May I take a copy?" I asked. "I'll send a secure version to you," he said. I nodded when I left his office. My heart felt different, not broken, armed. Back at headquarters, I asked to see my assistant. I had not worked closely with her before. Nathan had kept most. Communications filtered. Mila Reyes walked in with a tablet in her hands. "You wanted to see me?" she asked softly. "Yes," I said. "Sit." She hesitated, then sat across from me. "I need honesty," I told her. "No filters." She looked nervous. "About what?" About what people are saying. Her jaw tightened. I've heard things, she admitted. Say them. She swallowed. Graham Pierce has been telling board members that you've been emotional. I felt heat rise in my chest. It defined emotional. He said you've been unstable since the merger talk started, that you've made irrational decisions. I stared at her. I haven't missed a single meeting, I said. I know, she said quickly. But rumors travel faster than facts. Who else is repeating it? Some board assistants, she said carefully. It's becoming a whisper campaign. I leaned back in my chair. Public pressure. They were preparing the ground. If I react strongly, I said, what happens? They'll call it proof, she replied. Smart girl. Why are you telling me this? I asked. She held my gaze. Because it's not true. Silence filled the room. I felt something shift again. Trust. Stay close, I told her. I will, she said. After she left, I opened my secure email. Victor had already sent the contract. I read the bloodline clause again. Betrayal, reputation, harm, emergency authority. Then, I noticed something else in the ownership breakdown attached. A name under minority holdings, Margaret, out 18%. My breath caught. I called her immediately. Grandmother, I said when she answered. Did you keep shares in the company? She laughed softly. Of course I did. 18%, yes. Why didn't you tell me? I was waiting, she said. For what? The day you needed to know. I closed my eyes. Does Nathan know? I asked. No, she replied. He assumes I sold long ago. My heart pounded. With your shares, I whispered, the balance changes? It does, she said calmly. But power is useless without timing. I understood her. Nathan filed for divorce, I said quietly. She did not gasp. She did not sound surprised. I wondered when he would, she said. You knew. I suspected ambition would outrun love, she replied. My throat tightened. Why didn't you warn me? You would not have believed me, she said gently. I could not argue. Listen to me, Evelyn, she said. If he harms the company's name, you act, not as a wife, as a heart. The words settled inside me, not as a wife, as a heart. After I ended the call, I sat alone in my office. Rumors were spreading. My shares were diluted. My husband had filed for divorce. But I was not powerless. Not anymore. I looked at the company logo framed on the wall. I whispered to myself, you wanted to erase me. My phone buzzed with a board notification. Emergency strategy discussion. Tomorrow, no agenda attached. I smiled faintly. I would not fight him at home, I would fight him in the boardroom. CHP4, I sat across from Victor Lang and slid the contract toward him. I want to trigger the bloodline clause, I said. He did not react fast. He folded his hands now. Yes, before Nathan moves again. He looked at me carefully. If you activate it today, the board will see it as an attack. It's not an attack, I said. It's protection. He shook his head slightly. Nathan will claim sabotage. He filed for divorce in secret, I snapped. During a merger, and can you prove intent? He asked calmly. I opened my mouth, closed it. He leaned forward. If you move without full proof, he will go public. He will say you are unstable and acting out of emotion. My jaw tightened. He's already spreading that rumor. Yes, he said, and this will confirm it in their eyes. I stood up and walked to the window. My hands were shaking. So I just wait. I asked. I am saying, he replied slowly, that if the stock crashes because of internal war, thousands of employees will suffer. The words hit me hard. Are you asking me to protect him? I asked. I'm asking you to protect the company, he said. I turned to face him. If I wait, he gains more power. If you strike too early, you lose everything, he answered. Silence filled the room. Expose him now. Risk collapse or endure humiliation. Gather proof. I felt trapped between fire and fire. What would you do? I asked quietly. I am your lawyer, he said. Not your conscience. I left his office with my heart racing. By the time I reached the parking lot, my chest felt tight, my vision blurred. I gripped the steering wheel and tried to breathe. It did not work. My heart pounded harder. I drove straight to the hospital charity wing we funded every year. I needed airspace, something real. I walked inside too fast. A nurse asked if I was okay. I nodded and kept moving. I found Dr. Owen Clark near the pediatric wing. He looked surprised. "Evelyn, are you all right?" "I just needed a minute," I said. He studied my face. "You look pale." "I'm fine." "You're not," he said gently. "Sit." I sat. My hands were still shaking. "Talk to me," he said. "My husband filed for divorce," I blurted out. "In secret?" During a merger, he blinked. "Does he know that you know?" "No." "And what are you planning?" "I can legally remove him from control," I said. "Right now." "But," he asked, "but it could destroy the company if it goes public too soon." He nodded slowly. "I feel like I'm choking," I whispered. "If I move, I hurt innocent people. If I don't, he wins." He leaned back in his chair. "Strength is not loud," he said. "It is patient." "I don't want to be patient," I said. "I know," he replied. "But panic is expensive." I closed my eyes. "You built something important," he continued. "Don't let anger burn it down." "I'm not angry," I said quickly. He raised an eyebrow. "Okay," I admitted. "I'm furious." Gave a small smile. "Good. That means you care." My phone buzzed. "Lydia Hart," I answered. "Evelyn." She said quickly, "I heard rumors at a dinner tonight." "What rumors?" "That you've been acting strange at meetings. That Nathan is worried about you." I let out a slow breath. "He's worried, yes," she said. "He told someone you've been overwhelmed." I almost laughed. "Lydia," I said carefully, "if Nathan did something that hurt me, would you still defend him?" There was a pause. "He loves you." "You're sure?" "Yes," she said firmly. "Talk to him. Forgive him if it's small. Don't blow up your life over pride."
Pride? You think this is pride?
"Think marriage is hard," she replied. "Don't make it a war." I'd ended the call. Marriage is hard. War is harder. I sat in silence for a long moment. Victor's warning echoed in my head. Crash the stock. Employees suffer. Unstable wife narrative confirmed. I hated that he was right. I stood up. "I won't move yet," I told Dr. Owen Clark. He nodded. "Gather truth first." "Yes," I said. Undeniable truth. When I left the hospital, the sky was already dark. I felt calmer, not weaker. Strategic. If Nathan wanted to play perfect husband in public, I would let him. If he wanted to call me unstable, I would smile. I would wait. I would collect proof, and when I moved, it would not shake the company. It would remove him that night. I sat at my desk reviewing financial timelines. I compared filing dates with stock adjustments. Patterns began to form. My email notification chimed. Unknown sender, no subject. I hesitated, then clicked. An attachment loaded slowly. Hotel receipts, multiple. Dates. Nathan Cole's name printed clearly. My hands went cold as I realized someone else was watching him too. I printed the hotel receipts and spread them across my desk. 3 dates, 3 luxury suites, all during late investor meetings. I checked the merger calendar. The dates matched private funding discussions. "Who booked these?" I whispered. I opened the internal expense portal. The billing approval code led to one department: public relations. I leaned back in my chair. "Sienna Blake," I said under my breath. If Nathan was the face, Sienna was the curtain. I called her office. "Can you come see me?" I asked. "Of course," she replied smoothly. "Is this about the merger announcement?" "Yes," I said. "Something like that." She arrived 10 minutes later. Perfect suit. Calm smile. "You look tired," she said gently. "The rumors are stressful, I'm sure." I held up the receipts. "Explain." "These She glanced at them briefly. No shock, no panic. Investor hospitality, she said. Very normal, in private suites. I asked, "That's how high-level negotiations work," she replied. "Why wasn't I informed?" I pressed. She tilted her head. "Nathan handles certain relationships personally." I stood up. "Did you handle hiding them?" She gave a small laugh. "Evelyn, please. There's nothing inappropriate here."
What?
"Then why are these meetings not in official calendars?" "Discretion protects deals," she said calmly. My jaw tightened. "And the rumors about my instability?" She blinked. "Slowly. I don't control gossip." "You guide narratives," I shot back. "That's your job." She stepped closer. "My job is to protect the company by weakening me." I asked. She smiled. "Nathan loves you," she said softly. "He talks about you all the time." Stomach turned. I remembered the balcony whispered useful. I looked at her. "Does he?" "Yes," she said. "He worries you're overwhelmed." "Overwhelmed." "I'm not overwhelmed," I said. "Then prove it," she replied gently. "Stay composed." Her tone felt like a warning. "Are you arranging meetings for him behind my back?" I asked directly. "I arrange meetings that benefit the company," she answered. Not a denial. "Be careful," she added quietly. "Perception matters." I stared at her until she excused herself. The second she left, I grabbed my phone and walked toward the executive corridor. I did not plan to eavesdrop, but when I turned the corner near the conference lounge, voice, low, sharp, she confronted me. Sienna said. I froze behind the wall. Graham Pierce's voice answered through the speakerphone. "Did she suspect anything?" he asked. "She's nervous," Sienna replied. "That helps us." My heart pounded. "She won't last long," Graham said. "Once the merger closes, Nathan will restructure the board." I gripped the wall tighter. "She'll be gone soon," Sienna said calmly. "Gone." They laughed softly. "Keep pushing the instability angle," Graham added. "It makes the transition easier." I stepped back before they could see me, so that was the plan. Not just divorce removal, ERAs. By afternoon. Nathan held a press conference. I watched from my office. He stood at the podium, confident as ever. "I'm proud to announce the largest merger in our company's history," said Dot. The room clapped. He looked unstoppable. Villain advantage. Stronger than ever. My phone buzzed. Unknown. Number. I hesitated, then answered. "Evelyn Hart." A calm male voice asked. "Yes. This is Daniel Cho." I straightened. I knew the name. Investigative reporter. "What do you want?" I asked carefully. "I want the truth," he replied. "And I think you do too." My heart beat faster. "Explain." "I've been tracking internal movements before the merger announcement," he said. "Board restructuring drafts, voting projections." My throat went dry, and I asked, "And I have proof that Nathan Cole planned to remove you from the board before today's announcement," he said. The room felt smaller. "Proof how?" I demanded. "Draft resolutions, dated last month," he answered. "For the public knew anything." My mind raced. "He filed for divorce 3 weeks ago," I said slowly. Silence. "That timing is interesting," Daniel said. "Say what you're implying," I pressed. "I'm saying," he replied calmly, "that the divorce filing date matches unusual insider trading activity tied to merger stock shifts." My blood ran cold. He continued, voice steady, "And that's only the beginning. Chap 6, I found out about the board meeting by accident." Milera Reyes rushed into my office, pale. "There's a private session happening right now," she said. "Private?" I asked. "I'm on the board. I know," she whispered. "But your name wasn't on the invite." My chest went cold. "Who called it?" I asked. "Harold Whitmore," she said. Of course, I grabbed my phone. No notification, no email. "They're already inside," Mila added. I stood up. "Call Victor Lang." "I already did," she said. "He's on his way." I walked straight to the executive conference room. The door was closed. Did not knock. I opened it. Every head turned. Harold sat at the center. Nathan Cole sat 2 seats. From him, Graham Pierce was beside him. I stepped inside. I believe I'm missing from the guest list, I said calmly. Harold cleared his throat. Evelyn, this was meant to be a small discussion. I am a major shareholder, I replied. There is no small discussion without me. Victor entered behind me. She has the right to attend, he said evenly. Harold sighed. Fine. Sit. I took my seat across from Nathan. He gave me a soft look, concerned, almost gentle. We were talking about you, Harold said. I assumed so, I replied. He tapped a tablet in front of him. A video began playing on the screen. It was me. From a past meeting, my voice sounded sharp, frustrated. We can't rush this merger, I said in the clip. It's reckless. It's a video cut. Another clip. I don't trust this timeline, I said. Feels wrong. Then another, my face looked tense, angry at the video stopped. Harold folded his hands. This has been circulating among investors. My stomach tightened. It's edited, I said. It shows emotional volatility, Graham added. I looked at him. He cut out context. Nathan leaned forward. I just want Evelyn to rest, he said gently. She's been under pressure. I am not unstable, I said clearly. No one said unstable, Harold replied quickly. You implied it, I shot back. Nathan reached for my hand. You don't have to fight, he murmured. I pulled my hand away. I'm not fighting, I said. I'm defending. I looked around the table. I saw it. Pity, not anger, not respect. Pity, that hurt more. Harold spoke again. There are concerns about your recent behavior. What behavior? I demanded. Questioning strategic timing, Graham answered. Which is my job? I snapped. Nathan looked at me sadly. You seemed overwhelmed. I stared at him. You filed for divorce 3 weeks ago, I almost said. But I stopped. Not yet. Victor cleared his throat. If we're discussing leadership fitness, we need full context. Harold nodded. Provide it. I opened my folder. Have evidence of undocumented investor meetings. I said. Graham shifted in his chair. Hotel receipts billed through PR, I continued. Dates that match private stock movement. Silence. Nathan's jaw tightened for a second. Then he relaxed again. Those were strategic meetings, he said smoothly. Why hide them? I asked. To protect negotiation leverage, he replied. Harold? Looked uncertain. Transparency matters, I pressed. It does, Nathan agreed calmly. Which is why I'm concerned about your growing suspicion. Suspicion. He was flipping it. I am protecting this company, I said. So am I, he answered softly. I felt my control slipping. My chest felt tight again. Under the table, I felt a hand squeeze mine. Mila. I had not even seen her enter quietly along the wall. Her grip was firm, steady. I breathed, slowly. I looked at Harold, checked the full financial timeline. Not clips, not rumors, numbers. Harold hesitated. One older. Board member shifted uncomfortably. I noticed him avoid Nathan's eyes. Small crack, small doubt, regret. Loop stage 1. Nathan noticed it too. I don't want conflict, he said quietly. I want Evelyn healthy. I stood straighter. I don't need protection, I said. I need fairness. Harold exhaled slowly. Given the tension, he said carefully, we need to ensure stability during the merger. I felt the trap closing. What are you suggesting? I asked. He looked directly at me. I'm suggesting a temporary adjustment, Victor. Stiffened beside me. Adjustment, repeated. Harold's voice was steady. A vote to temporarily suspend your voting power until the merger concludes. I call for a vote, Harold Whitmore said. I sat still. Victor leaned toward me. We can challenge this later, he whispered. Nathan looked at me with soft eyes. This is temporary, he said. Just until things calm down. Calm down. My hands were cold. Harold raised his hand. All in favor of temporarily suspending Evelyn Hart's voting rights during the merger period? Hands lifted around the table. Not all, but enough. Motion passed, Harold said. The word hit like a door slamming. Nathan looked at me. I didn't want it this way. I stood up slowly. You wanted control. You got it. Evelyn, he started. I walked out before he could finish. By the time I reached the lobby, my phone was already vibrating. Notifications exploded across my screen. Breaking. Board suspends Evelyn Hart amid leadership concerns. Speculation over. Internal conflict at Coal Group. I opened social media. Power struggle. Emotional breakdown. Is the CEO's wife unstable? I felt heat rise in my chest. Public suspension. Public humiliation. I called Lydia Hart. It rang. No. Answer. I texted her. Can we talk? No reply. An hour later, I tried again. Straight to voicemail. I typed, please. Nothing. Silence can be louder than insults. That night I returned home. Nathan was packing a small suitcase. Where are you going? I asked. I think Spacewood. Help, he said calmly. I'll stay at the CEO penthouse for now. Of course he would. He zipped the bag. I never wanted you hurt, he said. You planned my removal, I replied. He sighed. You're making this harder. For who? I asked. He did not answer. He walked past me. The door closed behind him. I stood alone in the house, built together. My phone buzzed again. Investor forum screenshots. Some comments questioned Nathan's speed during the merger. Why suspend a founder? Seems aggressive. Small cracks. Regret loop stage 2. I opened a financial dashboard. The stock price trembled slightly, not crashing, but shaking. Then another notification appeared. Daniel Cho published a new article. The headline was subtle, internal. Tensions rise before historic merger. I read. Quickly, he did not accuse. He asked questions. Why restructure a board days before finalization? Why shift voting power quietly? He never wrote my name directly, but everyone knew. The stock dipped another point. My phone rang Margaret Hart. I answered immediately. I saw the news, she said. So did the world, I replied. Come see me, she said. Tonight, I drove to her estate without thinking twice. When I walked into her study, she was already waiting. You look stronger than I expected. She said, I don't feel strong, I answered. She gestured for me to sit. I kept my shares for this. Reason? She said. I know, I replied. 18%. She smiled slightly, more powerful than it looks. With mine suspended, it doesn't matter, I said. She leaned forward. Your voting rights are suspended, she corrected. Not your ownership. I stared at her. What are you saying? She opened a folder and slid it toward me. I can transfer temporary voting authority to you, she said.
Ask quietly.
My pulse quickened. That would give me silent majority control, she finished. My breath caught. Why now? Because they moved publicly. She said, now we move legally. I looked at the papers. If I accept this, I said, there's no turning back. There never was, she replied. I picked up the pen. My hand did not shake this time. I signed. She signed. Power shifted in silence. For the first time since I opened that envelope. It felt steady. Use it wisely, she said. I will, I promised. When? I stepped outside. The night air felt different. Nathan thought he had erased me. He had only exposed himself. I took out my phone and opened my calendar. I typed 3 words. Emergency shareholder. Assembly. Then I hit send. CHP-8 cameras flashed in my eyes as I stepped into the hall. I heard whispers. She still showed up. I thought she was suspended. I kept my back straight. I felt the cold weight of my platinum wedding ring on my finger. The last time I would wear it, Nathan stood near the stage. He smiled when he saw me. Evelyn, he said softly, like nothing was wrong. You don't have to do this. I'm not here for you, I said. I'm here for the truth. Sienna leaned toward a reporter. She's emotional. Please be respectful, she said loudly on purpose. I'm not emotional, I said. Stepping closer to the microphones, I'm prepared. Nathan gave a light laugh. Prepared for what? More drama? For facts, I said. The live stream screen behind us showed my face. Comments moved fast. I saw words like unstable and desperate. I opened my folder. First, said holding up papers. This is my divorce filing. Filed before the suspension vote. Gasps moved through the room. Nathan's smile tightened. Personal matters shouldn't affect the company. It became company business when you used our marriage to control votes, I said. I tapped the screen remote. A timeline appeared. Second, I said, this is the insider trading timeline. Stock purchases, transfers, dates, all before. The public announcement. Nathan crossed his arms. Coincidence. Then explained why the purchases came from accounts linked to your assistant. I said. Sienna stepped forward. These are serious accusations. They are documented, I said. Every date is verified. Murmurs grew louder. I clicked again. Video clip started playing. It showed me shouting in my office. It was the same clip leaked online. This is the footage used to call me unstable, I said. The clip cut suddenly. It's making me look wild. Now watch the full version, I said. I played the unedited file. My voice sounded firm, not crazy. I said, stop manipulating the board, I said in the clip. I will not let you destroy this company. The video ended. Silence. You cut out the part where I spoke about protecting shareholders? Said looking at Nathan. He shrugged. Editing happens. It's not by accident, I said. Sienna whispered to a cameraman. Zoom out. I stepped closer to the front table. Now let's talk about the shareholder contract, I said. Nathan's jaw tightened. Any more? I said. I pulled out a copy. There is a betrayal clause, I said. If a spouse manipulates stock value for personal gain, they lose voting privileges. Nathan's voice rose. You're twisting legal language. I'm reading it exactly, I said. I read the clause word for word. My voice did not shake. Someone in the front row stood up. Is that real? Yes, I said, signed by both of us. Nathan shook his head. This is a misunderstanding. We were protecting the company. By attacking me publicly? I asked. He looked at the crowd. Evelyn needs rest. I said that from the start. I felt the pity again. It burned. I don't need rest, I said. I need accountability. I reached into my bag. One more thing. I said, I lifted a document with Margaret's signature. My grandmother transferred temporary voting rights to me before this assembly, I said. Her shares were always meant to protect me. The room went still. Nathan's face lost color. That's impossible. It's legal, I said. Verified this morning. A reporter shouted. Does that give you majority control? Yes. I said. The word echoed. Nathan stepped toward me. You're destroying everything. No, I said. I'm saving it. He turned to the investors. She's acting out of revenge. I looked at them too. I wanted revenge. I would have released everything at once. I held up another envelope. I still haven't, I said. The tension snapped tight. Graham suddenly stood from the side row. I can't support this anymore, he said loudly. I resign, Shock rippled across the hall. Nathan stared at him. "You're overreacting." "I saw the numbers," I heard Graham say. "I should have spoken earlier." Phones rang. Messages buzzed. I saw stock alerts flashing on screens. Investors began whispering fast. "Sell before it drops." Did he really manipulate trades? Nathan raised his hands. "Calm down. This is temporary panic." I stepped to the table slowly. My fingers touched my wedding ring. I looked at it one last time. "This ring was a promise," I said quietly into the microphone. "A promise of loyalty." Nathan's eyes softened for a second. "Evelyn, you broke it first," I said. I slid the ring off my finger. The metal felt warm from my skin. I placed it on top of the contract folder. The sound was small, but everyone heard it. "I choose the company," I said. "Not a lie." Nathan's voice cracked. "You'll regret humiliating me." "I regret trusting you," I replied. The doors at the back of the hall opened. Heavy footsteps echoed on the floor. I turned my head slowly. Men in dark suits walked in, holding official documents. One of them said, "We're here regarding formal complaints and trading investigations." The room exploded with noise. Nathan looked at me like I had betrayed him. I met his eyes. I did not look away. The lead officer stepped forward and said they had warrants with Nathan's name on them. The hall turned into chaos. I heard one of the investigators say, "Nathan, we need you to come with us for questioning regarding insider trading." Nathan forced a smile. "Of course, I've nothing to hide." I watched his hands. Shaking, Harold stood up fast. "This board cannot function under this scandal," he said. "We need an emergency removal vote." I felt the shift in the room. It was no longer about me. It was about survival. Nathan looked at Harold. "You can't be serious." "I am," Harold replied. "The company comes first." I stepped back. From the table, I did not need to speak. The evidence had already spoken. Nathan glanced at me. "Evelyn, say something." "I already did," I said. The investigators handed him papers. "You are required to answer these inquiries immediately." "This is temporary," Nathan said loudly. "A misunderstanding." No one answered him. Harold called the vote right. Their hands went up. One by one, I counted silently. It was not close. Harold cleared his throat. "Effective immediately, Nathan is removed as CEO pending investigation." The words landed heavy. Nathan's face went pale. "You're making a mistake." I felt nothing. No anger. No joy. Just clarity. The hall slowly emptied. Reporters rushed outside. Investors made calls. Nathan grabbed my wrist before I could leave the stage. "Please," he whispered. "Talk to me, alone." I looked at his hand on me. "Let go." He did. Stepped into a quiet side room. The noise faded. He ran a hand through his hair. "I never meant to hurt you." I stayed silent. "I was trying to secure our future," he said. "I thought if I controlled everything, we'd be safe." I heard his voice in my head. Not memory, not imagination. A real one. The balcony recording I saved on my phone. I pressed play. His whisper filled the room. "Once she's out, the company is mine?" I stopped the audio. He closed his eyes. He kept that. "Yes," I said. "I was angry that night," he said quickly. "Didn't mean it." "You said it twice," I replied. He stepped closer. "Call off the investigation, please. We can fix this. I'll resign quietly. We'll travel. Start over." I looked at him carefully. "You want me to protect you?" "I want my wife back," he said. "I stopped being your wife the day you tried to erase me," I said. His voice broke. "I was scared of losing power. I was losing myself," I said. He reached for my hand again. "Don't do this." "It's already done," I replied. "My lawyers can fight the divorce," he said weakly. "They won't," I said. "You signed the terms this morning?" His eyes widened. "What? The divorce finalized under my conditions?" I said. "Agreed to avoid deeper charges." He stared at me like he did not know me. "I activated the betrayal clause," I continued. "You are legally removed from executive control. Permanently." sank into a chair. You planned all of this? Prepared, I corrected. He looked up at me. Do you feel nothing? I feel free, I said. Outside the room, I heard. Phones ringing again. The market alert tone repeated. I stepped into the hallway. I called an emergency internal meeting. I am appointing interim leadership effective now, I said on speaker. Operations continue. No sudden changes. Protect the employees. Voices answered quickly. Understood. Within hours, the stock stopped falling. Messages from investors shifted. We support stability. We want transparency. We trust your direction, Nathan. Walked out of the room slowly. No one looked at him the same way. He had lost the CEO title. He had lost the board. He had lost the press. He had lost me. He stopped in front of me one last time. We could have ruled this city together. We could have built it honestly, I replied. He had no answer. I turned toward the main exit. Cameras waited outside. Questions flew. Evelyn, any comment? Yes, I said calmly. The company will move forward. I walked down the steps. Before anyone else, no one blocked my path. The doors closed behind me. I breathed in the cold air. I did not look back. He thought he was filing my ending, but I was writing his.